All right, so I think now we're recording to the cloud, and that way, since Mark is also a co-host, when I hang up, then we should still be able to continue.
Yep, no worries. If it
Okay,
doesn't,
cool.
I'll just restart recording locally and send it through
Okay.
to you.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Cool. Excellent. So we are recording. We're all set. Let me go into the events channel because we had some pretty cool things to talk about. I do want to say there were some questions. We were sending out gift cards about the last event, and I think Fritz needed to speak with you, Mark, about the email, how to connect with the mods to give them their, so having a list of their emails so we can send them their gifts. That was a
Yep,
question he
I'll
had
put
this
that
morning.
on the feedback form, but I think we've got all bar and maybe
Oh,
two for the emails already.
okay, perfect. Yep, perfect. That works. So our event went great. You know, it went as great as it could go with our skeleton crew. We got some really
Yeah.
great feedback. We got some really great content videos. The speakers were all pleased. And so we're happy with how that went. And in our retrospective yesterday, the topic that came up, it was just pretty exciting. Everybody's really excited about building the next event in June 2021 for the summer as a hardware basics event.
Yes, I actually watched the entire video already last night, and I gave it halfway through just before the meeting.
Yeah, yeah, hardware basics, perfect. So we talked about that,
So,
and everybody's all excited about it. So let's build on that, and then let's just start now. So then in June we have all of the stuff in place.
yeah. Also, as I'm already dealing with stuff related to the website, I heard there was a lot of talk about like what to do with the website and such. I am easy right now since I'm already doing stuff with the website. I can take that on at least for now.
Take that on for now. Awesome, awesome. That would be really
As
great, Amelia Rose. In the
Yeah.
sections, did you see the part of the video where we were like, we will need somebody to put it up and then add the speakers and then add sponsors as the sponsors come in and then add the
So
schedule. So that timing, you know.
So if you actually look in general chat,
Uh-huh.
the message that I said, I like literally on the same day, right after the conference,
Uh-huh.
talking about it.
Uh-huh.
So my plan is to make it as almost easy to change things around as possible.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And so one of the things that I said was to squish everything in, because currently when you look at the documents, well, the files that you have related to the website and the conference, they're all like you have one file with a schedule and another file with the sponsors and such. Well, I'm confining that down to compressing that down into one file. And then
Excellent.
each talk and each talk and sponsor you can enable and disable.
Got it.
As for example, you can already add in a list of people for a certain time and just have them all disabled so they wouldn't show up in the beginning. And then as you get confirmations, you just need to enable them.
Oh, yes. Great, great, great.
And as I mentioned also, we also have the aspect of, like the first part, which is show the page. Well, that's also somewhat taken care of, since one of the things that I'm going to add in the configuration is that I can enable and disable the page. So when it's disabled, it will say like a thing such as like, I'll see you at the next conference, or whatever things that you want. Or in the case that's enabled, but there's no content, we just show the things that would be seen if there were things, but except for the things that we wouldn't see. I should explain that better. It would show like the banner and the title and the date, but as long as nothing's enabled, it wouldn't show the sponsors nor the speakers.
Got it. I like that. Okay. Excellent. And have you written any of those steps or processes or anything down, darling, in case you go away or you
I
get sick?
I
Or...
am somewhat writing it down, but right now I'm just trying to figure out like how to work things
I
out,
see.
like
Sure. Okay.
just fitting puzzle pieces together. Does this work? Can we make this easier?
Got it. Excellent. Okay. Mark, based on, you've been involved in a few of these events already, what would be the first steps, do you think, in this kind of an event? Are there specific hardwares that we should choose? Are there specific partnerships maybe that we should choose first to and our charity to decide? Or how do you envision this?
My thoughts pretty much replicate what was discussed last night. If we're going to be doing the hardware side, then I think we need to look at reaching out to Pi Foundation and see if Arduino has a similar sort of setup as first two port of calls, seeing what we can get from them. And in terms of charities, I think we need to focus more, especially with the timing around charities that focus on teaching kids to code, that sort of area. So, like, I don't know about in the US, but in the UK, June is end of the school year. We're getting ready for the summer holidays before they start progressing on to their next year of schooling. So it's a good time for them to sort of really step up and level up, especially if they're going into like from primary to secondary or secondary into further education. So yeah, I think looking at charities like that where we can help more long term that way globally would be a really big area to look at. And I know Jeff has done some bits on his personal streams, donating to Kids Who Code sort of style charities. So you already have some contacts set up there as well, which would be good. But in terms of first steps, I think we need to, reach out to like Pi Foundation, Arduino style, if they've got one. And then I think we need to have a decent length call for papers.
Yes.
And one thing I was going to bring up last night, but didn't find the right time to put it in, is we keep reaching out in the same platforms to the same groups of people, expecting better share. I think what we need to look at is expanding where we're reaching out to. So if we're doing this quick enough, i.e. in the next sort of few weeks, we can look at reaching out to these charities and getting them to shout out about what we're going to be doing in June, about how we're going to be helping raise money for kids who teach kids codes, how we're going to be supporting the Pi Foundation, and little things like that to sort of expand our circle of influence. And then looking at some influential people or groups within that sphere that we could maybe reach out to and essentially tack them on to what we want to be able to get some additional marketing out there, rather than just looking at the same circles all the time and expecting different results.
And I was going to say also that this is also has to do part in fact that now we have the time, unlike before. Fritz was saying like, yeah, we saw the same amount, like roughly the same amount of people. And I was like, well, it was like a week, or we had about a month maybe to, and advertising started maybe a week before.
2 weeks.
2 weeks before. I'm surprised we managed to get the people that we did, to be honest.
We did great with what little efforts that we had and with our existing community. So it's cool. And then, even having those stories to be able to share once they're posted up on our YouTube channel, to have them where women are sharing those experiences, it's pretty cool. And I think if we have another channel, I envision in June having a whole nother other channel where there are kids and what the kids are learning, and the groups of kids, maybe if they're all watching at the same time, or do we want to do an event? I don't know. Does it make sense to do an event that's a whole entire month-long challenge, and then it ends and culminates in an event? Maybe the kids do something, and then the kids, we have one superstar kid present or something. I don't know.
So this is also that something that comes with the fact that now we have time. Since, as you said, something about month long, and this is the thing. Now that we have the time to plan, we can actually think of what we can do instead of just normal conference style. What we could do is like a conference introducing the things. Then let's say a stream every week of tracking kids' progress as they go along until the end of the month, where, you know, you can like maybe a prize draw, or, you know, the most original idea kind of competition or something. Make it fun, make it a little bit competitive.
Right.
But not too competitive, I think, because especially with children, I feel that can be somewhat detrimental.
Yes, I agree.
I think we've also got to allow for the different levels of skill here as well.
Exactly.
Like, for example, I'm going to say Mark Miller, but I can't remember his online name, who's one of the live coders. His son, on a Saturday, I think it is, does a coding stream with him. So he's potentially going to be in a better position than other individuals who might not have taken this up already and looking at this as a first challenge.
I mean, I started, even though it's yeah, I mean, as I started already with like batch script when I was 8, so there are people going to have an advantage, be it because of their parents or because they had the curiosity to open up a file one day and try and make a little video game, like story video game with batch scripts.
Right.
And not everyone starts that way. Some people discover their love technology later on or in one of these events.
I mean, I'm wondering if there is a group already that's doing these kinds of things that, I mean, it might even be hard to get a global group, but maybe if we can find something that it spans a couple of different countries, that's an organization where they're already doing this kind of work, and we can just support their efforts and what they're already doing. I'm wondering, you know, where we might run into issues if we're tracking kids' progress, or we're asking them to stream weekly, or we're asking them to do certain things on camera. That's not, when I remember working with kids in our local community, there were a lot of issues around, you know, photography and video with kids. And so I'm wondering if we partner with another organization that's already doing that level of interaction and engagement, then maybe what we can do is we can just plug into what they're doing and make it more of a partnership. But I'm not familiar with any organizations that are doing this kind of hardware work with kids. Are you?
I can't really think of anything. Though I think one interesting thing that we could do is we could do something similar on Twitch by just directly streaming, but in YouTube they have something called like a premiere where you have like a video, and what we could do is somewhat like a pre-made video with the recordings of the kids working at home. So that way we don't have to put them on pressure to actually work directly on camera during that exact time.
Right, right.
And that way the parents can help out a bit.
So one, I think it's a great idea. I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Sure.
We've got, what, 3 months roughly, depending on when in the month we're looking at.
That's right.
In that 3 months, we need to organize all the media release stuff if we can't find a group to work with, organize the groups of kids we're going to work with to do this, record progress, and put a video up ahead of the conference. It feels like this might be getting a bit of scope creep in terms of what we have the timing for at the moment.
Yeah.
I think if we were looking sort of more September or October, this sort of idea would be perfect for the time frame to organize it all.
Yeah.
I'm one of these, I'd rather undercommit and over deliver this than
No,
try and put
I
all this.
agree.
No,
That's why I wanted
I
to
agree. I
follow
agree.
all the leads out so we can understand what's doable and what's not. So I love
What we
that.
could potentially
Uh-huh.
do
Uh-huh.
is look at the hardware conference as we were originally thinking of.
Uh-huh.
Reach out to some of these other charities like the Teaching Kids Code or whatever sort of charity we want to work with, and then progress and get these recordings put together ready for the following conference.
Uh-huh.
So as part of the keynote, we can go,
Uh-huh.
or during our hardware conference, we reached out to X, Y, and Z to try and improve children's knowledge of programming and help them set themselves up for future life, blah, blah, blah. And here's the progression that we saw over the last 6 months.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and we can
then
even
make that as a
say
big
something
focal
during the
point to join those two conferences together then as well.
yeah, and so we're at the beginning of the first conference next time. It's going to be like, yeah, we partnered up with some of these charities and we've sent out a few kids. So let's wait and see how that progresses in the next event. It's like, hey, well,
Yeah.
we're back. We have the progress reports. Do you want to see? It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
These kids did amazingly.
And then on top of that, that means we've got more chance of those charities reaching out and
Sure.
expanding our circle of influence for marketing on the next conference.
Right.
Because it's a direct follow-up and it's a bonus for them because it shows what they're doing with the support they're receiving as well. So it's almost like a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
And we get a bit more time frame to make it all work.
And that also gives us a bit of leeway when it comes to charity for the next event, which is going to be during Pride Month, of which is probably best to choose a charity related to Pride as well, something LGBT community related as well. So
what was the one that we had talked about? The Trevor Project, right? I think that was the next one on the.
Yeah. So we can focus on the Trevor Project for the one in 3 months, and then the one in 6 months is the ones dedicated to children. And also that allows us to gather more resources for the children as well, because we don't have to, we have more time to gain that capital and the sponsors for that event, which means we can also plan out the sponsors not only for this event now, but also for the next event, saying, by the way, would you like to sponsor us not only this event, but the next event when it's where we'll be giving out hardware to children, since we already have a clear goal and what we're going to give out in the next event.
Yeah. I like planning them ahead of time. I like getting ahead of our sponsorship. You know, it's so much more valuable to our sponsors when we can have that
and it's more valuable
leeway and bring in more
valuable
partners.
to our charities as well. Like what happens with Trans Lifeline. You said, as you said, you know, you only managed to speak with her like 2 days before the conference.
Friday, yeah, exactly.
2-3 days before the conference. That's just not give enough time for anyone.
Right.
And so now that we have the time, well, we must use this time wisely.
Yep. Excellent. And I think even, you know, I think we should assume that we'll probably have a smaller crew again for this event before our September. I think we'll probably gather a few more helpers and volunteers to this next event as well. But I think we should still kind of plan to have, you know, about 8 to 10 people running it, about maybe.
Yeah. I feel like the current Scare and Linton crew with only a few people tacked on would be great. Since we're mostly people with that already have experience moderating.
Yeah, right. I mean, like you're saying, the moderation, everything is a well-oiled machine. Production, same kind of thing. So it's really the organizational time, the admin time is what we need help with. You know, and so I think if we can get a few more people that can help reach out to those sponsorship meetings, and then a few more people who can help out with the graphics, the website, hooray! We can check that off of the list, which is fantastic.
Yeah, because that was like somewhat of a panic during like the last event, just like
totally
the website isn't really doing what it wants.
Totally. It wasn't
We
doing what it
have the
wants, and we
event
were
in,
just
like,
trying to make
couple
it
of days.
so easy to use that Sessionize API, and it wasn't working. So it's okay. As we continue, we're just going to keep polishing it, making the process shinier
By
each
the way,
time.
I'm going to try and get a link to the, if possible, I might need some sort of access, but what I'm going to see if I can try and do is
Mhm.
link the Sessionalize API to the website, but with the current
Yeah.
design.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, I don't know how to, let me do that right now. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to have to pop off here, and I'll let you finish brainstorming and take additional notes, send me the video, and I'll put it up. Our next meeting will be 2 weeks from now. And instead of 10 a.m., we're going to do in the afternoon, we're going to do 2 p.m. PST. I think that is that 21 UTC?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Sessionize. What is the email I should use to add you to? Oh, no, I have to have an event. Well, let me do this. Let me add you to this other event, and maybe you can just play with it a little and see what the API is for the last one.
Okay, so I'm going to just see if I can create myself an account. Google, thank you. Sign in with the Google. Please be a bit quicker.
You can put your email in the DM over at Discord if you'd like.
Yeah, it's the same email that I already sent you for
Gotcha.
the
You
other
got
thing.
it. Okay.
So
I'm just gonna try to add you to this. Even though it's an expired event, you should be able to just go in as a developer.
Perfect.
And play with it. Yep, they've got a developer role here for you. Okay. All right, I just sent that.
Let's see. Gmail. Oh god, their website being silly. Oh, the website doesn't like my ultra wide screen.
Oh.
Thank you. So, okay. Gmail. Let's access my Gmail account. Wait, I have it opening here. Why? Just opening more tabs for no reason. Okay. Yes, I see it. Join team.
Join
and
team.
there we go. I can edit it and create
So you
more
should
endpoints
be
and
able to
such.
play with that. Now I know we have some other layouts and pages. So you had built the one. Oh, there's a landing page for the first LCC, but it looks like it's not active. So I can't see that one. We have this other one. And then we have your layout. Are these conference pages archived somewhere for LCC 1, 2, and 3?
No, but I've just found the archived version of that one that didn't work for you, so I've just sent you that. And then
okay, let's see. Here.
I think we shouldn't worry too much because we probably have access to, since we use GitHub. We can probably just go back in the versions and find.
The first two weren't hosted on Live Coders GitHub.
I see.
The first one was using subscribe page, and the second one was using an ex-members GitHub.io.
I see. Okay,
But
well, there are a couple of these. I mean, the one that I'm looking at, I love this GitHub one that's at @ndesign.
Yep, that's the one of, I believe, our former member.
That one's beautiful. And I wonder, is this integrated with Session? I don't know.
No, we didn't use Sessionize back then.
Oh, okay. All right. And then
this last conference was the first one we used Sessionize on, because it was paper call on the third conference.
Oh, right. And they had issues with paper calls. So then I was like, hey, I have an idea. I like how the sponsors are right here on the page. Obviously, right now this year we don't have a team sponsor because we don't have a TwitchCon. We don't have that event to wrap the team sponsors and the team jerseys around and handing out the team jerseys at TwitchCon kind of thing. I would like to maybe find a solution to that. It would be cool if we could find some kind of our own internal event, maybe. I don't know,
Yeah, that
that
could be a
blows my
thing.
mind a little bit too much to think about right now. But I like this @NDesign GitHub /live coders conference
Yeah, I
site.
just sent Amelia Rose the 2 links.
Yeah,
If we can,
I like the at and design. The problem with it
yes,
on the main site, it doesn't
Uh-huh.
really follow the rest of the aesthetic
You're
of
right.
the website.
you're right. How
Yeah,
do
this was
we,
specifically done as a third-party site before we had any conference page set up on the main one.
all right, so let's just leave those. Is there a way that we can keep links to these older conferences to show? Because what happens for me is I engage with sponsors and then they go, what are the metrics? What are the last conferences? Who were the last speakers? And I have no links to send them.
The GitHub
I'm
one's
sure-
easy. The
Okay.
other one being an archive is a little bit harder if the archive goes down, but we could probably
Right.
grab a copy of it in other ways.
And maybe it's
Yeah.
not even worth it at that point, right? Because of the time involved. Okay.
Mm.
Maybe it makes sense for me. I'm going to keep these links open. I'm going to maybe save them, put them into a presentation. And so we can at least have some kind of records of our first conferences. And I
Yeah.
want to get those metrics for viewership for each conference as well, and then put them together for our sponsorship package, because those are questions that I get a lot. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
for the first 2 conferences, I know Andy and Jeff put stuff together for sort of how amazing the stats were. You might be able to find the information archived in Discord if you search.
Okay.
But if not, they should be able to dig it out for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, I'm going to head off to my appointment. I'll let you finish brainstorming this next event for the summer, take some
Okay.
notes. And then, we'll just leave the site as it is with the best layout that we have now. That's fine. And then what I'll do is for these older ones, I'm going to pull the content down and maybe put them into a slide deck or a PDF or something, just so we have them and we have some kind of records of them. I want to have the SEO, because remember, I'm all about just driving traffic and to the site.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't make sense right now at this point. I mean, if we had a lot of extra time and money, but we don't. So I think our best focus then would be on moving forward with the June event and linking it into September and connecting with some organizations that will manage
Get them
groups
to
of
advertise.
kids. Yeah, and get those advertised. As long as, and even with having the kids present something or do something or create something and then showing that progress over 6 months, I love it. And that way we're leaving it again up to the organizations that are already doing that work. So they're already, used to working with the kids, and they have the
Yeah.
licenses for showing the kids and the parental sign-offs and stuff. We don't have any of that.
I just thought of a good little idea with the kids, and that is when we do have children like working on the things, let's say it's a Raspberry Pi with a little case on top, we could ship our team stickers as well with them.
Oh yeah. Yep. Love
Because what's one of
Brilliant.
the things that kids love to do more? Stick things on top of things.
Absolutely.
And so and then
Absolutely.
one of the ways we can have these sponsors the charities advertise us is when they have like a pie with a sticker on it, they could like take a picture
Yeah.
and just so upload that to Twitter. They don't really need to mention the team, because you would see the icon of the logo
Or maybe
of
a
our team or the
hashtag.
mascot. Yeah.
True. Awesome. I love it. Okay, I'm popping off. I will talk to you again. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your meeting.
Yep, enjoy.
Bye. Bye.
So, it has a recording maintained. Yes, it has.
Yep, still recording.
I think there's some things we can take from of inspiration from the LCC2 page.
Yes,
I like the
definitely.
fact I like a lot of things. As I said, the design doesn't integrate, so the design is not something we can copy. And
No,
I
there's
wouldn't
bits
really
out
want
of it we
to
could potentially get, like for example, the schedule download. The fact that they wanted to put the stream integrated into the site where you've already got the code there, so that's sort of perfect.
Yeah. I don't think it's relatively difficult that actually. The only reason that the last two ones didn't have it is because we had no time.
Exactly. We've got the time now.
Yeah, we've got the time. I'm pretty sure I could just build a component in React since Gatsby is using React quickly to integrate it. I don't think it would take long at all.
No.
Also, the same goes for the downloads, the schedules, though I'm unsure. Oh, okay, so it's a PDF. So it's a PDF with the schedules.
Yep.
All right.
And that's easy enough to generate from JavaScript anyway, so.
Yes. I like the. I'm partially to integrate for and against to integrate session lines directly for the simple reason it's nice if you have a bit more control over what data you use directly. And I say that in the sense that, for example, in the when you download the schedule, one of the things that it says is like the pre-party and the after party, or what well, it doesn't really say after party, but and one of the things that you can have is like in the schedule is also like a little space, where it says like break or something like that.
But why don't you
That's
use
not
a
something.
sessionized API just to feed in your speaker information to the times of the talks?
Yeah,
So
I mean, I
essentially,
could.
that JSON that you built up, you could use the sessionize to build into that, and then you just fill in your break slots, your pre-parties, and other bits manually.
Yeah.
So then it saves data redundancy. So all you need to do is have so many slots already filled in for pre-party, keynote, breaks, whatever, and then have sessionize take the rest up.
Yeah. No, I think this is. I think in general, yeah, that's a good idea. We could just I could probably do something with like modify the JSON, just move things around. My brain is going like 1,000 miles per hour. I'm just thinking of too many things and it's just confusing. I am planning on keeping the current sponsor setting thing that we have going on for our current page, our newer page. Since when I worked on that, the whole point of it was that you can make different tiers of sponsors easily and quickly without putting too much thought on it. Whereas this is like specifically team sponsors with a lot of white space going down and conference sponsors filling up the old side, which is not really great look, I don't think.
No, definitely.
Personally.
In terms of the conferences, so obviously the next one is hardware based. Whether we do it kids focused or not is going to be dependent on what we can get sorted. Do you know of anything other than Pi Foundation that would be good to reach out to?
Some things come to mind, but I can't remember the name of them. I think, if I recall correctly, there was some like charities that worked in like India and stuff like that, teaching kids like tech stuff. So that might be an interesting thing to look into, since it's a place where it's just emerging in the tech space, but it's still relatively has a relatively hard time.
And then for the following one, one idea that got suggested by me was that we look at game dev for September.
Yes,
around
I think
September,
that sounds
October
really good.
time, because
I
like the
heard
biggest game
Ludum
dev
Dare.
event is Ludum Dare. Yep, and it's
I
just in time for that.
Yeah, I actually participated somewhat in last year's Ludum Dare anyhow.
I
So
remember.
I'm sad that I didn't manage to finish it. I was just too exhausted.
But then on the flip side, if I just share this up, that's the wrong screen, I think. What screen do you see at the moment? Do you see the spreadsheet?
Yes, I see the spreadsheet. Critical
Yeah. So
path.
this was that critical path that we put together in a bit of a
Mhm.
rush one morning. I'm
Yeah.
just wondering if you can think of anything else that needs to be sort of added to that or not.
I was looking over it and I couldn't really think of anything. Though we might want to consider some things since we want to relate to. Do we have marketing in there? I think we have marketing in there.
We
No, we don't. We don't have marketing in there.
not massively. No, we've got like sponsor conversations.
Yeah, we want to start already adding marketing into that critical path, I think, because
Yep.
we want to be able to market our conference, and if we don't market it, no one's gonna be there.
Yeah. I guess the question is, at what point would we say that starts in a, well, I think it's 6-month process.
Well, I'd say after speakers, some like first round of speaker confirmations,
Big confirmation.
and I
We're
and I
saying
say
about
that
July.
yeah,
Like if the
and I
conference
say
was for the 20th of Sep.
I think we can have a smaller campaign already starting from when we open the panels. So when we open the submissions for speakers, where we'd have like, yeah, that would be like advertising the fact that speakers are open. So you might actually want to do that from finalized event details to like maybe a week over, a week or two over. Well, no. Campaign from finalize task events from finalized event details to open CFP, and that marketing campaign. I want to specify this speaker call marketing. Then we'd have a smaller campaign. Well, sorry, a larger campaign once we have a couple when we have speakers confirmed, like a couple of speakers saying, "Hey, we have these speakers coming over. Isn't this great?"
Yep.
And then once we have sponsors, we can say, "Yeah, cool stuff is going on here." We're being helped. So and so is helping us, with this event. And maybe one cool thing might be having some already sending some swag to some speakers related to our sponsors. That would be a good idea, I think, because it's like we could have, as I said, one of the good things is if we have stickers to send out to people, they can get their marketing stuff with a Life Coders sticker, and so you see our sponsor and our team at the same time, whilst the speaker might be like showing it off or something.
Okay.
So that might be a good idea.
No, definitely. So we're saying 2 sets of speaker calls, one to open it up,
Yeah.
one as a reminder. shout out once we've confirmed speakers, start the sponsor shout out and the event calls pretty much once they're confirmed right through to event week.
Yeah. And maybe do one small one, and I mean like a week of like the actual charity would be helping out. Since I imagine the charity we do before the sponsors.
Yeah,
We figure out
that
what
we can
charities
call
we want
that
to
into
support.
this whole build up that we would do here.
Okay, cool, perfect.
'Cause
So
that's
yeah,
still
that would
gonna
be
call out because that's what 2 months to sort of compile it then.
yeah. I
And then it
forget
gives
that
you-
those are weeks.
Yes. And then obviously with the conference site, there's 3 stages of updating.
Yeah.
So literally
As
conference name and theme, no date or time, just coming soon.
as I
ju-
said, that would be pretty easy to do with the current system. I'm planning it out.
Exactly. Second update will be the graphics on there for it. The info's been updated to including the start date and maybe a calendar reminder link like we did for the meetings tonight
Okay, yeah.
to remind people. And then the third and final stage is pretty much all speaker information and talks are added to the site.
Yeah.
So it's sort
And
of
we
gradual
can
build up
go
then.
adding and removing sponsors and such as time goes on, since
Exactly.
we
And then
have
you've
that
got clear
ability
gaps.
to
You've got
enable and disable.
yeah, so you'd have 3 weeks to get the first bit up, 2 weeks to get to stage 2, and then stage 3 would be at the same time we do the speaker shout out.
Yeah. Stage 3 is probably going to be the easiest, since yeah, as I mentioned, a lot of, if we integrate Sessionalize and all of that together, and yeah, that's probably not even going to be a non-issue. That's probably just going to be maybe a week of troubleshooting if something happens.
Exactly, and if we can get the MCs confirmed before the stage 3 update, they can all go in as part of the same update as well.
Yeah. Sessionalize doesn't do speakers, does it? Like MCs,
Nope.
does it? Okay, so
No,
that's
this is
something
where
that
we
we'll need
use
to
your
add.
setup for that.
Okay. I'm gonna just DM you stuff just from to remind myself partially, and
That's
I'll
fine.
also put this later in the
I
thing.
was also going to say, basically,
Um,
put up a bit your JSON setup for MCs specifically.
MC data. What other data do we need? So pre-event time. Mid-event gaps, so that way we can just generalize the gaps, say like 15 minutes, since we all know that all conferences is going to be like X amount of time. I think that makes
Yep.
sense. Kind of like how in CSS you can just specify the gaps between your things. God, design! I can't stop thinking design. So we've got mid-events gaps and after party. I think the after party might be cool. Like, it was mentioned before, but if we do open up the Discord at some point, we could have like a call with like people outside with maybe we can like sell some VIP things or something like that, which would go towards like the moderators and such and or whatnot, you know, that kind of thing, and also to the charity. And that would what would happen is that they could go into a special call, and we could play some party games, and then once the after party is done, well, that's over.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that might be an interesting
yeah.
way of having people engage and actually have people give money, because there's a lot of people that are just like, I don't feel like donating to charity.
That sounds like a plan. So are we happy with this enough to say send it up to the committee to have a look through and agree, disagree, amend, etc.?
I think it's fine, yes.
Because what
Can
I've
you
got in the
think
back
of
of my
anything
head is
apart
if
from
we've got our
marketing?
if we've got our conference after next in September, if we followed this, we'll be starting the planning for it in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea to already start planning that for next 3 weeks already as well.
Yeah, so that's why
I
I
think
want to try
that's
and
a
get it
good
moved
idea.
on quick enough to get it signed off so then it can be looked at.
Yeah. What other details that we, well, apart from the general site data like the title and such, um, s- any info specifically you want regarding like these name is not coming up schedule?
No, just maybe what mentioned in one of the notes of getting a sort of calendar invite link for people to click and just get reminded essentially.
Okay.
'Cause let's
Calendar
be
link.
frank, there's not going to be a lot of returning visit to the site. So if we can capture them initially with add this to your calendar, we've got more chance of getting people coming into the conference easier.
Also, one thing I'm going to say is additional social media.
Yes.
Because I remember when I was talking to Lucky Gallagher, when I was making the site, I mentioned like, hey, we can do like other stuff as well, like put their website in and such. She was shocked, so I imagine that Sessionalize limits it to only a couple of social media, whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And
More
so
than likely,
what?
yeah.
Because she was like, oh, Twitter. I just thought Twitter. Well, this allows us to add like link to their website or whatever YouTube channel they have or GitHub and stuff like that. That's a thing that we should make also clear that when a speaker signs up, they can actually submit additional social media, because I don't think they would be aware of that if they don't. That could be done in the confirmation step.
Yes.
So when we're confirming speakers, we can also confirm all social media. Can you add that a
No,
note
definitely.
possibly?
Yep, I've got a note of that one. And off the back of the speaker selection, I believe Layla took notes of getting more information available because we had practically no information on some of the speakers, which made it a bit harder.
Yeah. Also, if you could maybe talk with a couple of people regarding what other information they would like regarding the speaker, maybe, because since that we're doing the website personally, we can integrate. We can ask them for certain details or whatnot that they might be interested in providing. Maybe where they worked, or well, I mean, where they might have like studied or whatnot. Maybe might be interesting for example, a couple of people. I don't know.
No, definitely. Cool. I think we're about there, unless you've got anything else.
No, I can't think of anything else. So, yeah.
So
I
should we
think
call
we.
that one it for tonight and then come back to it in 2 weeks?
Yeah,
The next
2
meeting?
weeks, same time. No.
No,
Same
it's
time or
changing time.
okay,
No, it's going
Tuesday.
plus
Right?
4 hours, I believe it was.
I have it in UTC. I don't. My Google Calendar. I have it in my Google Calendar. So.
Yes. From what Christina was saying, we're looking at 10 p.m. UTC.
Okay. 10 p.m. UTC on Thursdays
11
as
p.m.
well, or
Same day, yeah.
okay. So I'm going to put this in. Where should I put this? I'll put these details into events, though they're more related to marketing. I feel like.
It's a very fine line, but yes, I know.
Yeah.
At least if it goes in events, it'll get picked up on because I think marketing is pretty much the same people.
Yeah, I think the only difference is that I'm not currently. That actually, have we even had a call related to marketing? Yes, we did, but okay, I wasn't there.
That's fine. I'm gonna stop the recording now, by the way.
Perfect.